2 of the last 3 games. Can't finish.
That's right.
They have the same problem that many men have. They just can't finish.
Ooh.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's a tough analogy.
It's true, though. Good. They can't finish. What's up? What's going on? Why can't they finish? Against good teams, at least.
Yeah, against quality competition, right? Because the DePaul games don't necessarily count as
I don't think that counts. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. I don't even think playing teams like Georgetown counts, but they lost to Georgetown, so they scored 51 against Georgetown. So
Georgetown beat Butler.
Yeah, I know. Well, the Big East right now is just
it is. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yesterday, Providence beating Xavier.
Yeah, but that made sense. Xavier
Did it really?
Trayvon Blewett was out.
He was out. Okay,
yeah,
so he's always banged up though.
Right, but when he doesn't play, and you're talking about not playing without the Edmond Sumner.
Then you look at Marquette winning the games they've won and the games they've lost. You're
that
like,
doesn't make sense. I know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, it was a different issue down the stretch. It wasn't like entirely surprising in that Seton Hall won it by coming up with big time rebounds, but the fact that Creighton couldn't deliver the knockout punch, I think that was kind of concerning. Yeah. Now Creighton had to withstand some momentous plays and some big time shots that Seton Hall made, but to me that was what stood out the most was just the way that Carrington sort of broke out his slump in an emphatic fashion. The fact that Delgado was able to sort of muster up enough energy and effort and intensity to make a difference on the stretch, even though he hadn't done anything for the first 30 minutes of the game. You know, a lot of times I think the blueprint on him is just if you can take him out of the game, he'll just sort of disappear himself because he's not getting the ball and not being active.
Yeah.
So he turned it around. Desi Rodriguez made some good shots, some big plays, and collectively they got to the glass and defended well enough to win down the stretch. I was more impressed with the way that Seton Hall finished than what Creighton did or didn't do down the stretch.
Although those numbers you posted on Twitter are just ridiculous. 13 straight possessions, which I'm sure you'll research that and go back and find the last time that's happened to Creighton, which I probably never.
To end a game?
I think any time during a game, somebody scoring in 13 straight possessions should be a record. I don't know if it is, but it sounds like it should be a record.
Yeah, that's a.
Think about when you get 4 or 5, how good you feel when you get 4 or 5 straight possessions where you score.
Right. 13 in a row is a lot.
Yeah.
And they were aided by the offensive boards.
Sure. Right.
So
yeah.
I would say, gosh.
Well,
6 of them, 6 of those final 13, they had at least one offensive rebound on that possession to extend it or start a new one. So that was a big difference for sure. And then they got to the free throw line too. I mean, they weren't all those. It's interesting, especially once the game was tied 71-71 with about 5 minutes left. The first shot that Seton Hall took on its next 4 or 5 possessions missed all of them. You know, Creighton did what it needed to do defensively, was stingy enough, followed the scouting report, followed through on its plan until the shot went up. And then just either got out-muscled or had a little bit of a lapse in technique and maybe the attitude wasn't where it needed to be in terms of matching the physicality and got beat on the boards.
Creighton's going to get beat on the boards, again, all the time, in my opinion, the majority of games.
It's a weakness.
But you can't, not 17, not by 17.
Well, and not 11-2 down the stretch.
2 down the stretch.
Right.
And then
you don't want to have that happen.
That many free throws, you can look and maybe say, well, were the officials an issue?
It was a weirdly officiated game.
But I wouldn't look and say they took the game away from Creighton.
And I don't like harping on the officials too much because it's not.
But when it's this disparity, people freak out.
Yeah, I know. But the thing is, it's like it was a tough game to officiate just because Seton Hall, the way they play physically. So you could call a foul on seemingly every possession. Just the way they battle. And, watching, there are fans, Seton Hall fans behind me, screaming for fouls in the post because of the way that Creighton was trying to deny and defend Angel Delgado. They were trying to push him off the block. And, fans were frustrated by that. I think Creighton probably, when they look at the film, will be frustrated by the way Delgado was able to get himself into position at the end of the game and find his way to rebounds. Yeah. But and then maybe some of the calls that were whistled against Carrington, who pretty good knack for knowing when the contact might come or how to create the contact and then sell it, especially when he's driving. So there was one play, gosh, it was late in the game. He grabbed a rebound and Justin Patton sort of like skied by him, didn't touch him, but Carrington like tilted his head back as if to say, or
those
simulate
guys do that really well.
Oh, he hit me, acting like he did it. So savvy play, and I think he got a few calls that maybe weren't warranted. But the Creighton without Kyrie Thomas in the lineup, especially in that matchup, and the way that it was defending and trying to take away post touches, so they were committing extra guys to Delgado.
Mm-hmm.
It was in a bind in a lot of those stretches because it meant that Marcus Foster would be matched up against either Kadeem Carrington or Desi Rodriguez, and that left either Mintz, Clement, or Zierden guarding Carrington or Rodriguez, however it switched up. Mm-hmm. So that wasn't a good recipe for Creighton in that scenario, and I think Seton Hall's guards their playmakers did a good job of recognizing the mismatches and exploiting it.
John, they missed 25 shots, and they missed
who's they?
Seton Hall.
Yeah,
and they also missed 11 free throws.
Right,
and Justin Patton had 2 rebounds.
Not all those free throws are rebound potential. But I'm not saying.
I'm just trying to give you 2 rebounds. He had 2. And he went to the line once to finish a 3-point play.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That just doesn't make physically. That doesn't make any sense. Like he should fall into 4 rebounds.
Right.
They should bounce up to him.
Yeah.
Not good, man.
Well, yeah. I mean, it is. He's been better at it this year. You know, it was one of the parts or elements of his game, especially to start the year. That I think the coaches worked with him a lot and taught to him, watched film, worked on technique. I mean, if you look at the stats in Big East play, I think he's 4th in the league in rebounds per game, which makes sense. He's 7 foot. He should be up there. But that 2 is not enough, and I'm sure
I thought it was wrong.
I talked to him after the game, and he was like, I wasn't tough enough. We weren't tough enough. They out-toughed us. I mean, that's what you can say. He knows what happened.
It's a good quote.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, you just got to be better than that.
What happened with Zach Hansen? Just not a Zach Hansen kind of game? Is he banged up or what?
Yeah, I didn't ask.
6 minutes.
I know I didn't ask Coach McDermott about it. Here's my just sort of reaction to it. I thought that one of the things that Zach Hansen brings is that physicality, and especially on offense, he can sort of bull his way into the paint and get some buckets that way. But Seton Hall can match that, and it sort of nullified some of his effectiveness. I thought when he caught the ball on the block 2 or 3 times, he didn't make any headway.
Right.
Like he posted up a little bit further out than I think normally, and he didn't get any deeper on his post up. When
on his repost.
Yeah. So or when he put the ball on the ground and tried to just sort of So I think. Also, coupled with the fact that Justin Patton wasn't in foul trouble, I think it was just, hey, let's keep the 7-footer who can continually put pressure on the rim and who's going to sprint down the court. Maybe wear Angel Delgado out because he's got to chase him around a little bit. And I mean, shoot, Justin Patton's really good. So
I know.
I think that was part of it.
Yeah.
But it seems like Hansen his effectiveness is maximized against opponents who don't have that physicality. Because all of a sudden, like that's his biggest attribute, and when the other teams don't have that ability to match it, his skill and ability just really shines. Yeah. But when he's facing another guy who, hey, you can't move me, I can't move you. It just, I think it was kind of a wash.
I know it's 2017, and 2 big guys playing at the same time or even getting a lot of minutes is not the way game's played anymore. So I can see there's times where it doesn't fit.
They're not going to be on the floor at the same time.
Exactly.
I mean, that's just. That could be a recipe for disaster, I feel like, defensively, because then you're talking about, especially in the Big East, where most of those teams have stretch fours. Although, Seton Hall, maybe you could have made an argument to play Hansen.
I just think down to stretch physicality-wise, he could have gotten some boards, I'm thinking.
Right, and here's the thing, with the way that Creighton aligned its players defensively, they assigned their 4-man, Huff and Hayden, to battle, for the most part, to battle with Delgado, and Patton rolled over and provided help. Right. So maybe you can make the argument that, instead of, Huff or Hayden on the floor, maybe you put Hansen there to battle with him. But then on offense, you lose the ability to stretch the floor with your 4-man, and Creighton relies a lot on spacing. So I'd be surprised if Creighton ever has 2 5 men on the floor at the same time.